He stepped up to throw for double 16, a finish he's landed thousands of times, but this time, just as he set his stance, a sudden sound stopped everything. It wasn't a cough, it wasn't a cheer. Let's just say someone pumped the air, and if you followed darts long enough, you'll know there's only one man who could have made that moment even weirder. James Wade. We're not going to use that word in this video. You know the one, the F word that doesn't belong in a professional sporting arena. This isn't a video about bad manners. It's about tension, pressure, and how one of the most unpredictable characters in darts found himself in the middle of yet another bizarre headline. But it's more than just one moment, because if you know anything about James Wade, you know this isn't the first time controversy has followed him onto the Oche. From blazing rows with opponents to public mental health battles, Wade's journey through darts has been anything but smooth, and this latest incident, it's just another chapter in one of the strangest careers the sport has ever seen. Smash that like button if you've ever witnessed darts drama unfold in real time, and don't forget to subscribe because we're just getting started. The story begins at a low-key Players' Championship event in Leicester. No big TV cameras, no walk-on music, no Sky Sports interviews, just the raw, quiet tension of floor darts, where the best in the world fight for rankings, cash, and confidence. Far away from the spotlight, James Wade, one of the most decorated players in the game, was locked in a gritty battle against Peter Wright. It was close, awkward. Two veterans trying to outlast each other in a game that wasn't pretty, but was tense. And then, someone let one go. We don't know who, we'll never know who, but the timing was perfect, or disastrous, depending on your perspective. Wade paused, looked over his shoulder, visibly annoyed. Wright didn't say much, but made a quick hand gesture. Some said it was a wave to clear the air, others said he was stifling a laugh. The ref caught somewhere between holding in a chuckle and trying not to pass out. Word spread quickly. Social media exploded. Fans joked that someone dropped a mind game. TikToks popped up with fart sound effects edited in. Reddit threads dissected the exact second it happened. It went viral, fast. But as funny as it might have seemed to viewers at home, there was a deeper story underneath it. Because this wasn't just any player reacting, this was James Wade. To understand why this moment became such a big deal, you have to go back. Wade's been in the game longer than most of his rivals, a true veteran, but also a walking contradiction. On his best days, he's a match play assassin, a clutch finisher, one of the coolest heads in pressure. He's won the Premier League, the UK Open, the World Grand Prix. He's been in finals with Phil Taylor, beaten Michael van Gerwen, survived the toughest legs the game can throw at you. But he's also one of the most polarising players in darts history. Ask 5 fans what they think of Wade, and you'll get 5 totally different answers. Some see a genius under pressure, others see a moaner always on the edge of snapping. Some say he's underrated, others say he's lucky. He's been called brilliant, boring, dangerous, and frustrating, sometimes in the same match. And over the years, that tension has boiled over again and again. There was the time he clashed with Wes Newton live on stage, accusing him of slow play and gamesmanship. The two nearly came to blows after the match. Another incident saw Wade yelling at Keegan Brown mid-game, with both players visibly rattled and officials stepping in. He once had a go at a referee during a World Series match, slamming his darts down and walking off before calming down and returning to finish the game. But the biggest turning point came in 2018. That's when James Wade publicly spoke about his diagnosis with bipolar disorder. It was a moment that changed the narrative around him forever. For years, fans and pundits had written off his mood swings and volatility as arrogance or bad sportsmanship. But Wade pulled back the curtain, revealing a side of himself that very few knew existed. The dark days, the manic highs, the crushing lows. He admitted to struggling with stability, with routine, with relationships, both personal and professional. And suddenly, all those old outbursts made a little more sense. Since then, Wade's tried to be more open about mental health. He's done interviews, talked about his coping strategies, advocated for awareness. But that doesn't mean the demons are gone. And in matches, especially the ones that get awkward, slow, or tense, those old habits still creep in. So when this, let's call it auditory interruption, happened during the Peter Wright game, Wade's reaction wasn't just about the smell, it was about disruption, disrespect. A break in rhythm that hit him right in the middle of his laser-focused routine. Because for Wade, rhythm is everything. His throw isn't flashy, it's not explosive, it's mechanical, methodical, built on repetition. Break that rhythm, and you break his entire game. That's why he gets rattled by slow opponents, why he stares down players who tap their feet, why even the tiniest noise can throw him off. And on that night in Leicester, that sound was anything but tiny. Now, we're not saying someone did it on purpose, but in darts, mind games are real. Peter Manley used to stare down opponents until they crumbled. Gerwyn Price flexes and shouts after every checkout. Players cough during throws. They mess with pace. They drop their darts. Some even accidentally step over the Oche to force resets. So it's not crazy to wonder, was this a one-off moment of bodily betrayal, or was someone playing a different kind of game? Dimitri van den Berg had a different take. When asked about the incident, he didn't hold back. With his trademark calm delivery, he said, "If someone pumped, you just breathe quicker. Get on with it." It was meant as a joke, but also maybe not. Van den Berg has built his entire career on poise, focus. He's the guy who practices ballet footwork and spends hours working on mental strength. To him, letting something like that rattle you is a weakness. And maybe he's right. But darts isn't a vacuum, it's a human game, played by flawed people, in flawed environments. Sometimes things happen. Still, you can't deny the pattern. With Wade, it's always something. One week, it's his opponent. The next, it's the crowd. Then, it's the lighting, the noise, the pace. And now, the smell. Some critics say he needs to toughen up, grow thicker skin. Others argue that Wade's sensitivity is what makes him special, what allows him to find rhythm in chaos and grind through matches no one else can. But this latest incident has reopened old wounds. On social media, fans have split down the middle. Some defending Wade, saying no pro should have to deal with that mid-throw. Others mocking him, calling it classic Wade. Always finding a reason to complain. And while all this plays out online, Wade remains quiet. No interviews, no statement, just business as usual. Because that's Wade in a nutshell. When the spotlight's on someone else, he thrives. When the chaos is elsewhere, he sneaks through brackets, makes finals, wins ugly. But when the drama finds him, it follows him like a shadow. Even Wade's biggest moments are laced with tension. His 2007 World Match Play win was supposed to be his coronation. Instead, fans remember the stare-downs, the arguments, the awkward handshake with Terry Jenkins, his Premier League victory in 2009, overshadowed by clashes with Taylor and accusations of slow play. Even in recent years, his deep runs in the UK Open and European events have been met with debates, not celebrations. And now, in 2025, the conversation isn't about Wade's darts, it's about gas. That's the paradox. Because when you strip it all back, Wade is one of the greatest players of his generation. Top 4 in major wins, top 10 in earnings, top 5 in clutch finishes, and yet he might go down as the most underappreciated legend the sport's ever seen. Maybe that's why he always seems a little angry, a little defensive, a little on edge. Because for all the talent, all the titles, all the moments, he's never been truly embraced. Not like Taylor, not like MVG, not like Wright or Price or even Barney. He's always been the outsider, the one who wins without being loved. And now, even in a ridiculous moment that should have been a forgettable laugh, it's Wade who takes the hit. So what's next? Will this incident fade away like so many others? Probably. Will the PDC make a statement? Unlikely. Will we ever know who really did the dirty deed? Definitely not. But what we do know is this: darts is human, it's awkward, it's weird, and sometimes it smells a bit off. And in that world, James Wade is perfectly imperfect. So let's stop pretending this sport is all class and composure, because the truth is, sometimes darts gets messy. Sometimes someone pumps one out at the worst possible moment. And sometimes that moment becomes the funniest, strangest, most talked about story of the week. What do you think? Was Wade overreacting, or does he have a point? And, more importantly, who do you think did it? Let us know in the comments. And if this story gave you a laugh, hit that like button. Subscribe for more behind-the-scenes darts drama, wild player stories, and the kind of content Sky Sports is too scared to air. Because in darts, anything can happen. Even this. And honestly, we wouldn't want it any other way.